started to see what had been calling my resentments as not mine and my fears as mostly mental anxiety that again was not mine, and my reactions to life and how I would step on everyone's toes to get what I want. I saw that as something, a propulsion of self in my life. I've never not seen it that way ever since. So, yeah. And I was open for further review, but I never got any further review. And in a sense, in my AA life, it told me, if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from it. Yeah? So you're going to be trying to get out of what you're not as what you're not. Yeah. And you're going to fall into that statement of self can't get out of self big time. Yeah. And so that shift was getting struck sober. And then there's been a lot of seismic shifts since then. But the first thing is, I got struck sober. I did not get sober through AA. I got struck sober and I stayed sober through AA. Yeah. So I got a gift. The gift was there. The gift would have dried up probably on the vine. But that night I got introduced to recovery, and I've been going to recovery all these years. So that's what's extended the miracle, but it was not the source of the miracle. So I'm a real believer that a higher power works through the program to affect us. I don't think doing the 12 steps is doing anything, literally. I think doing that 12 steps opens us up to the influence of a higher power. That's my feeling. Yeah. So shifts, yes. There's going to be a lot of them, probably. Because if you stubbornly were looking at life in one way, that will be shifted and it will go back as a habit until it's broken. Yeah. And now you'll see, as it says in recovery, you will have a new basis, which is seeing in another way. Yeah. And one of the things you're going to see is how you used to see shit in an older way. You're going to see it. You're going to see self-centeredness. You are. You're going to see the glasses that you thought were your eyes. This stuff's going to be revealed. Yeah. And you're going to recognize truly what has defeated you is foreign to you. So when people say you're a chronic alcoholic, you'll hear that. I don't want to argue with them, but I don't believe that. Yes, I don't.
Message misser was the other term I left out because I was drunk from the chopped liver. By the way, I have plenty for everybody, but nobody ever takes it, so there's plenty for me. I'm a message misser. I come here and I miss the point. I go to the meetings and I don't hear the message. I'm a message misser. I missed it all my life. The lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is in my head. You've had the power all along. I've been missing messages my whole life. Then I see Paul cackling like a warlock. And I'm like, all of a sudden I get the message.
Great. There
I
you
hear
go.
self.
So that story that you've missing messages the whole time is bogus. So that drops. Yeah.
Oh, damn you.
Yeah.
I
When
mean,
you look
thank
at
you.
the closet, it's all shriveled up. You don't fit. It doesn't fit anymore.
Ah,
Then you bring it to goodwill with bad will or not. Doesn't matter.
you really hit me when I'm down with the fatty Bobatti. Okay, I can take it.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. This is what happens with some people. Their head, there's a lot of trust in the head, and the head has them as being so wrong. So they look at life to make them right about that. Yeah. For them to be right, for their head to be right, everything has to be fucking wrong. These are old ideas and they're fueled by a new love right now. Just stop. It's just a pointless to keep letting this. It's like having a neighbor who you don't even like that's jacked into your electricity and you're paying his electrical bill fucking every month. Yeah. I don't want to hear a huge story about it. Just get it disconnected. Why do I don't care, about your neighbor. I care about the loss of the electricity. Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're paying for it. So, yeah. Perhaps there is a better way, trusting the infinite rather than finite self. Please tell us what trusting finite self looks like. We're trying to. It's one of the things we do here. Yeah. For that head to be playing God, there must be faith in it. There must be trust coming from trust to make that act of playing God have any power. Yeah. And the head is playing God. As it says, it's one of the most important statements in AA because AA is a linear program and first is more important than next. And it says first, you've got to quit playing God. And then next in this drama of life, God is going to be director. You're going to be directed. Yeah. Now, that God being the director and you're going to be directed could be directed by that which is playing God. That's why it's first. First, you got to quit playing God because if you're not, you're being directed by God, could be directed by that fucking thing that's acting or playing God. This is the thing. Yes? Oh, I don't see that. It doesn't matter if you see it. It can be happening. Yes? What God-like juice is that which is playing God using? It doesn't have its own. It's us. Yeah? So we're in complete cahoots with that which is playing God. Yeah. When you heard that in the book, page 63, I think, quit playing God, it doesn't work. Didn't you believe you were that which was playing God? Of course. And therefore, once again, you ran into another order that seemed impossible to fulfill, which who wants to fucking keep doing that? So here it is. I'm playing God. How the hell am I going to stop playing God? You're not playing God. I'm telling you, I have seen that onion peeled in my own life. All the misunderstandings that were actually couching the act of playing God actually was the buffer of it being recognized. Yeah. And that skin in the onions just peeled out and there was no nut in it. Yeah. So first I thought I was playing God. How the hell am I going to have to quit playing God? Then I realized if that which is playing God tries to quit playing God, that's playing God. Tell me it isn't. If that which is playing God, unbeknownst to you, here's the message, you have to quit playing God and sets out to quit playing God, that is playing God. Tell me where it changes. So no way I'm going down that road. Okay, what happened? Over time, in the being influenced by the higher power, I saw it in a different light. I recognized that which is playing God is foreign to me. I am not that which is playing God. Fucking hallelujah. So, what does it look like if I'm not that which is playing God? I lose interest in the playing God because it's not me. The interest was weird because trying to make it not me when I thought it was me was interest in that which was playing God. Yeah. Trying to stop playing God was interest in playing God. So this was how it worked. I lost interest in that which was playing God. It's like I lost interest in smoking. Did smoking continue? Yes. I lost interest in smoking. Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, I'm not smoking anymore. Is there smoking going on? Yes, but I'm not. I've lost interest in it. This is how it worked. I did not see it that way. When I first heard quit playing God, it doesn't work, I felt it was another fucking order I was not going to be able to fulfill. Yeah, it was a bummer, really. I saw it differently just by staying sober. You do not believe how much wisdom is being downloaded by just staying sober a day at a time. Unbelievable. To the point the wisdom is going to actualize itself if you don't keep going out every once in a while. It will actualize. It will build up enough momentum of being sober a day at a time that it's going to open and it's going to flower in a way you've never seen something flower. And you're going to recognize you're not that which is playing God. That's quitting playing God. You tell me any other way, I think it's still playing God. That's quitting playing God. Argue? What? I don't care. That's how I see it. Did I see it that way? No. I was brought to see it that way. I was brought to see it that way. A power that I've been introduced to in this program brought me to see it that way. Probably because so I could share it, basically. It wasn't anything because I am special or the chosen. I'm just a fucking hose that the water decided to use. Yeah, I've got a lot of holes. I wouldn't try to live as me as a hose. But the water, drink the fucking water. Yeah, this is not about the messenger, it's the message. Drink the water. Tell me if it works or not. Does life look lighter when it's your resentment or a resentment? Obviously. Does the thoughts have as much power when they're seen as thoughts or your thoughts? Well, obviously. Yeah. This isn't about moving anything. It's about a new emphasis. Thoughts occur, but they're not yours. Yeah. You can be driven, but you're not the driver. What? Yes. Yeah. When you're in a jail cell, it's usually not with a Toyota pickup. Yeah. And I asked the Toyota, why are you in here? Well, I was driven to the bank 5 times. The person who drove me stole from the bank, and I'm in prison for the rest of my life. That seems weird. You're the driven. You weren't the driver. But this is what we're doing, isn't it? We're playing the role of the Toyota. Yeah, and the driver. We believe the driven was the driver. So the Toyota needs to be in jail. The Toyota could have just been easily driven to a 7-Eleven than to a bank. Yes? Oh, well, it's right in the big book. If you're a big book thumper, driven means you're not the driver. I was driven by 100 forms of something. That excludes you as the driver. Yeah? Those 100 forms aren't yours. They were the forms that were used to drive you. I can't, the stubbornness of it is insane. You can take 2 sentences in the book. Do you think these people knew what was going on? No, because the next sentence is, we are the source of all the problem. I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't. I do not believe you manufacture your own misery. I do not believe you, as the factory head, uses the factory to manufacture misery. I do not believe that. I believe something that has taken over the factory uses the factory to manufacture misery. Yes, I believe that. It's completely different than you are the factory owner and you are the director of the factory. You are the machines in the factory called you are driven by something. And one of the things they're driven to do is manufacture misery. That's how I see it. Yeah. If you like it that way, come back. We're here every day, every 2 days, every 7 days or whatever, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. I'm not going to talk to you as if you're the driver because you're not. You're the driven. Let's get these simple things clear. I'm not discussing you as you're going to drive differently. No, you're going to realize what's been driving you. Yeah. And you're going to make a decision to have a different driver. Yeah. Why? Because your nature is to be driven. That's it. Your nature is to be driven. Your nature is to be moved by emotion. You look at how much anger moves people and produces situations that they end up in jail for 25 years. They were driven to do that. Yes? You can't keep ticketing the driver. You can't. It's way past due that we recognize something. The driven is not the driver. The driver, in our view, is self. Yes? And we have been driven by 100 forms of self to these conditions. Let's tell the truth. Yeah? I do not believe self means you. I don't. When it says self-imposed calamities, I do not believe you imposed the calamity on you. I do not believe you hate yourself. There may be hate in you, And it may be directed at you, but it's not you hating you. Yeah. Something may hate you in you. It may. It may look like it hate. I just say it's just a parasitical movement. The host could take it as hate, but the parasite doesn't see it that way. If you open up the possibility that it wants, it's going to live in you. And this is what happens. Alcoholism is a parasitical movement. It's found a nice host. It doesn't look it. I know guys, my first year of sobriety, I lived in Haight-Ashbury. Lived there for 6 years. And then after 10 years later, I would go there and the same street people were still there. It's like I never got the flu when I was out there. I never did. I didn't take a break from cocaine shooting because I had the flu. I don't remember being sick at all because I was super sick. I was so toxic by the parasite of alcoholism, no other parasite could get in. Seriously, all this, my health issues actually happened when I got sober. Literally. I mean, I don't remember having a long lasting cold. I didn't. I was out in the street every day doing, I couldn't take a 10-day break. It was impossible. So what was that? There was a power that was greater than the other powers. And the other powers couldn't drive me because I was driven by this other power. We have met something greater than that, which was greater than all those other powers. Yeah. We have met the higher power. Wasn't that weird when you got sober? You get a cold and I don't remember walking around with Kleenex all day in my pockets. That's all that I had for the first 12 years. Every time I did a wash, there would be a ball of Kleenex because my sinuses were so fucked. Yeah. I didn't have any of that when I was running around. It's insane. So, yeah.
Hey, Paul, we have a few hands up.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Ross, come on in. Thanks for being patient.
I can't hear him. So,
Yeah, you're still muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying thanks, Michael, and hi, Paul, and everyone. Good to see you all. I was going to ask you, I hear in meetings sometimes people speak about like they were born with the illness, and just the way that you phrased it, like the illness finds a good host. Do you think there's anything to do with being born with it, or do you think it could happen to anyone?
I don't think you're born with it. No. I mean, there may be some potentiality, but when it's in a potential stage, it could go any way. For it to start manifesting, it has to have a certain push to it. Yeah. But for it to stay, you have to be convinced it's you, probably. Yeah. So there could be a phase of the parasitical effect. Once it has the host convinced that it's the host, then you're fucked, literally. Literally, you are. Because now there's no room between your thoughts and you. You believe they're yours, and it's so intimate. I ended up thinking, I was being suffocated by terminal uniqueness, literally. I truly believe my thoughts were so super uncommon and so mine. Yeah. And my feelings, no one had them. And my reactions to life were quite different than most people's reactions. When this was the choir of a run-of-the-mill alcoholic, yes? Singing, thinking I'm hitting a unique note when I sound like everyone else. This isn't a phenomenon. That's manufactured by the parasite. Yeah. If you were getting defeated by commonality, what would be part of the defeat you would feel so special? I mean, we think a lot of our reactions to the problem are not of the problem, they are. big part of the problem is the reaction to the problem, from the problem. Have you ever talked to someone who goes in and out? They have great knowledge why they went back out. So they're thinking they're finally hearing from the solution about the problem. It's the problem talking about the solution. I don't want to hear them at all. I just say, go to a meeting. I don't want to talk to you about alcoholism. I don't. I've talked to you over the years about alcoholism. It hasn't gone anywhere. So just shut up to me. Just go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I want to come over and talk to you about the problem from the solution. You're not. You're talking about the problem from the problem. I don't want to do it. Yeah. It's a lot of react. See, you ever see those big songs when someone says something and then the crowd says it again? This is what the head does. The head says how it feels, and then we go, oh, that's a great description of how I feel. Yeah. So the we're living from the parasite's view of life. I mean, how myopic is that? Yeah. And while we're doing that, we think we're so unique. Yet when we go to a meeting after a while, you realize, hey, there's only two possibilities. How did these people get my thoughts, or they're not my thoughts? Yeah. What? I've been listening to with great devotion a channel that I called K Paul, but it was just like K Steve and K Mary and K Jill. It was the same propaganda. I can't believe it. I was so sure. That so sureness isn't even coming from us. It's again part of the problem. Whatever, you know. Ah, well, yeah. So I don't know. I think I think there's tons of potentials in all of us. It basically what wind becomes the more powerful wind that drives us, yes? So self-centeredness, when it becomes an extreme obsession, which I think is the original disease or addiction, really, then that spawns all these other attempts to get relief from it, yeah? So most of us were trying to get relief from the obsession with self by doing other shit. And yet, the obsession with self was in all of that because we were the doer of the cocaine as self. Yeah. Yeah. So I believe the original addiction is the mental addiction to this idea of being you. I humbly believe that's the addiction. And that addiction being unseen, we attempt to get relief from it. And those are all the addictions that we name, you know, like addiction to coke, addiction to drugs, money, sex, all that. Yes? We have a huge amount of information about that, but we have a very little information about the original addiction, which is the mental addiction to self. Yeah. Yeah. Now you can find that in, like, say, Buddhism and Hinduism, because that's what they deal with. They're not dealing with the alcoholic or the drug addict. They're dealing with that initial addiction, which is the mental addiction to the idea of being the doer, the thinker, the feeler. Yes? Truly. Truly. That's what their basis, like in Buddhism, it's about non-self. Yeah. So Buddha supposedly said this thing, there events happen, deeds are done, but there's no individual doer thereof. Yeah. So all of this guilt and shame we're feeling about things we did while under the influence, Buddhism is saying there's no individual doer thereof. Yeah. So you were like a sail, and the sail is driven by wind. You are not the wind that drove the sail. Yes? So they're directing the attention there. They're not going off on a lot of a drug addiction and alcoholism. They want to look at this primary addiction of self. Yeah. So a lot of us go through the experience of being an addict and we come into AA, and then we go from there and we look at Buddhism or other things. Yeah. But Buddhism and other things are based not at us relief from the addiction, but to see the source of the addiction, which is self. Yeah. Yeah. So I think they both can go, they're perfect alignment. Yeah. We have all the information about addiction, and then with that, it can trigger a real recognition of the original addiction. Yeah. By doing a lot of coke, I know it isn't coke. Let's put it that way. I know that is not the addiction, even though I was addicted specifically to cocaine. I would pass on heroin a lot. Coke is what I wanted to do, but that still didn't matter because the addiction was really the mental addiction to self. Yeah. Yeah. I never thought I was cocaine, no matter how much I did it. I'm thinking I'm self all day. So, I mean, yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. We're talking usually here about the exact nature of the wrong, yes? That it's foreign, it resides in the head, that's where it thrives, and that's where it reinforces itself, in the head. So it's a disease of perception, yeah? So we perceive things as mountains that are molehills, yeah? We perceive situations as a great threat that doesn't have any threat at all. So we're living in a hallway of mirrors with all distorted perceptions, yeah? That's what happens, yes? Yeah. There's no alcohol or drug is mentioned. That's the original thing. And then we seek relief from that. And some of us sought relief from that from drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Some of it from workaholism. Some of us by people pleasing, whatever. Goes on and on and on. But basically, the root is similar. Yeah. The root, before it branches off and then branches more off, which is the leaves, the root is similar itself. Yeah. So again, at this place here, we emphasize the exact nature of the wrong, which has nothing to do with drinking or drugs. Yeah. The exact nature of the wrong is self is what has defeated us. Yeah. How it defeats us, it uses a lot of things, but the defeat is of self. And it resides in the head. Yeah. Yeah. When I was a kid, not much resided in my head when I was a baby. Yeah. The brain had to get developed. And I think along with the development of the brain, these possibilities developed. Yeah. Some of us got extremely sensitive, not about other people, fuck them, but about us, became very self-centered. And that became a very inviting petri dish for the parasite to come in and grow and thrive. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we were looked at as a possibility because of our condition, and then something landed and it became a giant defining theme in our life, addiction, alcoholism, literally. Yeah, yeah. Other people, it may have landed on, it couldn't grow strong enough and it moved on. Yeah. Like spores blown by the wind. Yeah. So, you know, some people get married, they're two alcoholics, and one of their kids is an alcoholic. Some people get married, two alcoholics, they don't have any alcoholic kids. Yeah. There's no truth. There's always exceptions. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Ross. Nice to see you. Say word miracle, please.
Yeah. Miracle.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love Mir is great. The miracle. Yes. Fantastic. You see, it's a miracle, but the emphasis of it makes it, yeah, I think this is what happens with all of us. Life emphasizes new things for us, and that's the joy of you know? Yeah. I mean, what I'm doing right now would drive me to drink earlier on. because it looks like I'm not doing anything and I'm not producing any merit, or I'm not doing shit in a way. I could say I'm being of help, but I'm in such a habit of it, it doesn't do what it used to do. Yeah. So here I am. This condition, looked at from a different point of view, would drive me to do something. Yeah. Now I don't get driven by it. I don't. Something else is driving. Yeah. And it's okay not to do anything when not to do anything is the appropriate move. Yeah. It's totally okay. Yes. I don't know. The head doesn't have to go into a rationalization. You're old now and it doesn't matter. I'm just not doing it. Yeah. I don't need a story to support the story. I don't care. People are not even getting close to thinking about you how you think about you. It's beyond. It is fucking beyond. People are not sitting thinking about you much. They're they can't even get close. So when you compare thinking about someone, this comparison does not, you will not find a match out there. People are not thinking about you as you think about you. There's no, not even close. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. There's no way your glasses are like 800. Everything is enlarged. You can't capture it. Yeah. So when you're thinking about how other people are thinking about you, it's how you think about you. They're not doing that probably at all. They can't muster up anywhere near close the obsession that we're used to all day. They would have to be, it would look like an incredible deviant behavior if someone was obsessed on just 1/8 of the obsession of Paul about Paul. They would be stalking and shit like that. We're walking all day with this. Jesus Christ. I know they're all thinking about me. No, they're not. I'll never be forgiven by them. No, you'll never be forgiven by you. They don't care. They have forgotten what you thought was going to leave a permanent scar on them. They have forgotten it. They've moved on. Yeah. uh, Whatever.
Hey, Paul, we have another hand up. Maria would like to come in. Hi, Maria.
Come on, Maria. So,
Hi,
hey,
can you
Maria.
hear me? Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Oh, it's been really great to reconnect again with your talks and your meetings and everything, and find you talking about the same thing. I feel like I haven't missed anything. It's been very comforting and valuable experience. And yeah, I just really want to thank you. It's thank you for helping to disillusion me and bring me to a greater contact with reality. It's yeah,
Great, Maria. Thank you.
yeah.
To hear you live. Yeah, someone sent me stuff we did 16 years ago, and it sounded like I just did it yesterday. Nothing has changed much.
Yeah,
I truly was told not to move from here because if you don't see it, you're going to be looking from it. Yeah. And looking from it is a blindness. It is. But you can see that. You can see what you used to look from. You can. And that's a new kind of seeing. Yeah. So thank you.
thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Yeah. And hopefully we'll still be here. And yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, it's going to be 40 minutes, and then you're going to have to pay a euro for every 5 minutes after. Somehow we're going to make money out of this mishap. 40 minutes, yes. At the 42nd minute, the secret handshake was shown. Oh. All right, we're gonna get this all set up. It'll be back to sort of working, but anyone else? I can stay here all morning. I don't have anything to do.
No more hands up, Paul.
All right. Well, we're gonna be here again, 4:30. I maybe should just sit here, go into like a suspended animation, and then come back to life 4:30 Pacific. This is probably the most useful part of my day anyway. I could forgo everything else, you know. Just get some food fed, you know, with a IV. Just sit here. Someone changes the top so I look like yeah. All right. All right. Well, let me say thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. Yes. And yeah. Axel, Kathy in Ohio, Al in Vegas, Maro, Ross. Nice to see you, Ross. Kathleen in Pennsylvania, Roman Mueller, the radiator is there. Yeah. Joseph C., Rick Rowe, Angela in Simi Valley, Mickey, our forever greeter. Nice to see you, Mickey. Rico, always a pleasure. Michael Stacy, as always, thank you, Mike, for showing up and doing it. Tom in Tacoma, nice to see you, Tom.
Thank you.
Nina, Nina, a guest appearance. Nina, yes. Hopefully she's going to be on the show for the next week or two at least. Yes, you gotta, yeah. Maggie in Coachella, nice to see you, Maggie. Ben, Bobby, yes. Miss Volkman, always a pleasure to see Miss Volkman. I can't get to the second page. I don't know what happened. I've lost. So whoever's on the second page, I say hello. Thanks. We'll be here later at 4:30. And just, you know, just sit with Driven and Driver. You know, they're different. Yeah. Yeah. They all have the same. The difference is in the N and the R. Okay? Driven or driver. Yeah. But there's quite different. It's a huge difference in how you can see things. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you're seeing things as the driven, you can be driven almost anywhere. If you see things, yeah, whatever. I'll see you. Bye-bye.